It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at Stockton Con.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of Stockton Con. The Value of Wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out the Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big O's, San Jose. We done shut the shit down. Love and respect, though, right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you.
It's the Value Wrestling. I'm the Big Tyme, Mr. Z. We're here with the indie god himself, Matt Cardona. This is real. The Choppy is about to go down. Let's see it. Oh.
This guy just paid me $50. Matt Cardona, check out the Value of Wrestling.
Cool. Oh, you know it. Had to play the best video on the channel right there for you. He still feels it in the chat. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody of all ages from all around the world, everywhere you are. This is the Value of Wrestling. This is your weekly roundup podcast, episode 51, meaning one more week, and we will be at 52, 1 year of the weekly roundup. And what a time. Of course, I know all about time because I'm the Big Tyme, joined by my co-host, the New Japan Pro Wrestling expert, the master of New Japan Pro Wrestling knowledge, the one, the only Mr. Miguel Z. And of course, you've been waiting. Finally, after the suspension had been lifted, and as soon as he, apologizes. I don't know how suspensions there's some narrative in the story. You have to apologize to somebody for something, for some reason, to be out of suspension. Isn't that how it works? I don't know. It's storyline.
Well, you just pay him off.
Okay, he's paid off. He paid off a bunch of people. His suspension's been lifted. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Paulus Clarke.
This just in the headset, the powers that be just said that he's not allowed to talk about how much he had to pay off.
Oh, he's under an NDA. Oh, he's all about those.
It's called
NDAs.
an NDA, fool.
Yep, he's all about them NDAs. As long as it wasn't a casting couch NDA, I think you're okay. Or did they? What? We can't talk about what he did on the couch. Okay, never mind. We'll skip over that. The big guy's up in the tower there. Hey, you're not here. We got to come up with.
They said save it for Patreon.
Yes. If you want to know what happened on the couch, to get Mr. Clarke back in studio on camera. I mean, Anyways, hey, you weren't here. We had a cover for you in storyline. That's, everybody seems to get suspended these days. So we thought it was a just fitting storyline to suspend you. But anyways, welcome back to the show. Welcome to another week. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining in. We've got a hot chat going already, so we thank you for joining us. I'm sure somebody's mom is not happy with that Matt Cardona video. I'm sure she's still hunting down the indie god, Matt Cardona. We love and respect right here at the Value Wrestling. We always love that video. Thank you so much, Matt Cardona, for pulling that off. I mean, that was an amazing feat. I mean, again, I know me and Mr. Z talked about this, and this is the first time since then Mr. Clarke's been with us. So I definitely want him to share kind of his thoughts when he first saw that video. Because, I mean, there's one thing to talk about going and doing something and having a plan to make it happen, but going into something and not really knowing if you're going to pull it off, per se, and then pulling it off. I mean, I believed in us. I believed we could do it, but there's a lot of other variables that you're kind of like, okay, are they going to allow it to happen? Is he going to be willing to do it? It's like you go in there going, yeah, we're going to do it. We're pumped up. But, and again, it was one of those magical moments. It just kind of happened like that. We didn't sit around and pre-plan how it was just like, he was free. I shot the shot. He said, okay. And off to the races we go. And of course,
it also helped that the news channel that was there, it helped lead into that.
Yes.
Which was even better.
They were already doing an interview and talking about that. And then we showed up, and timing is timing. And I guess we had perfect timing in that event. Unfortunately, Mr. Clarke can't be with us at Stockton Con this year. Maybe next year. We'll figure that out. He'll be there, and we'll all be at Stockton Con together. That could be fun. Hopefully, we'll all be at WrestleMania together in Las Vegas, Nevada. There's a Patreon. There is a Patreon page, but there is a GoFundMe in the description and the link in this video below. You can go down there, watch that whole thing. Go donate whatever you can. We need all the help. But there is a Patreon page. new Patreon page. Go over there. A lot of new stuff that's going to be on there. A lot of great articles, preview videos like the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast will always show up a day before, which is Tuesday, and then Wednesday shows up on YouTube. And of course, there's other stuff. I believe if you're a Ring of Honor fan, an NWA fan, an NXT fan, and TNA, is that the four? Ring of Honor, NWA, NXT, and TNA.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a big fan of them and want to get caught up, there may be some exclusive videos that are going to come to Patreon only. Of course, right now it's all free. All you have to do is sign up for that free membership. And there may be some videos that will get you up to date, or at least get you going to tell you what's going on on NXT, Ring of Honor, NWA Power, and Ring of Honor. So if you were a fan of those videos, you may really want to go sign up for the Patreon page so you can keep up, especially with NXT this week, because you say his name and he's going to give off a concert on NXT this week. The one and only Joe Hendry is going to be on NXT doing a live concert. So he's done it before in TNA, I believe, and he's done it other places in the Indies, but now he's going to do it on NXT this Tuesday. So that should be a fun and exciting time.
I was going to say, did you see what he did? You say his name, he will appear, and fans in the parking lot got an autographed poster.
Yeah. I don't think
Gallus
Gallus...
to him. So, I mean, that man, yeah.
I don't think Gallus will be happy about his concert, but we'll have to wait and see. But let's get back to what we had an opportunity. Mr. Clarke, you've been gone for a minute. Let's go back to Stockton Con. What were your thoughts after you finally saw that video? Because I know we all hyped it, but you know, there's a thing about hyping something and it actually happening.
Well, think about this. If you didn't believe in manifestation before, this crew proved it works. Okay? Not only did we all hype it up, if you will, on Twitter or on X, whatever you want to call it. Not only did we keep putting it out in the universe, y'all were ready to do it. I think just the fact that the news people that were there had seen it themselves on X and had talked about it briefly before it actually happened for you guys.
Yeah.
That to me is all the manifestation proof you need.
No.
The fact that you did the work, you were there.
It still shocks me, and I don't know how Mr. C feels, but it's still a surreal moment for me, because it was just kind of like, I went in, it took forever. Like, we didn't even get in early. They were letting the regular attended fans in before they gave us our media pass. Then they finally let us in, and we kind of rushed up the stairs to get to the wrestling area, and I had my thing to get the Kevin Nash autograph, and if you want to see that, go watch the Wrestling Collectibles episode 2. I share that. So I was sitting there getting my Nash interview, and I saw Matt Cardona, and Mr. Z was standing there, and I'm like, it's him! And man, he's all like, oh! And so as soon as I got done with Nash, me and Mr. Z met up, and we walked right over there, and the camera crew was finishing up, and the lady that was sitting there with him was like, I can help you. And I'm like, well, we just want to talk to him real quick. And he was like, what's up? And I'm like, hey, we're the Value of Wrestling. We've been trying to hit you up on Twitter all week about chopping the big man here. And he started cracking up, like, really? The news crew's like, see, we told you, people have been asking for it. And yes, we paid him $50 to get chopped, but we got the shout out, we got the chop, we got it on video, we have it forever in history. Mr. Z, your mama in chat.
Yeah, mom, keep it PG, mom.
Big sexy, big daddy cool. Yeah, you know, the Value of Wrestling's got the hookup if you ever need it. Anywho, rolling with the punches. But it was just
People just wants a hug. It's
Yes.
all good.
Yeah,
a big giant hug with the big man. Anyways, anything you say in chat might get thrown on the channel, just for your warning. That is your warning that you're going to get. If you put something out there like losers of the IWC, hey, you know what? We're here, you're not, and that's life, so you better get over it. Bada bing, bada boom, the realest men in the room right here on the Value Wrestling. Anyways, I don't know. It was the most surreal moment. It's still surreal that it just kind of happened. I started talking. He's like, yeah, $50. And then, I mean, I was rushing. The only thing bad about the video, I wish we would have slowed down, but I think we were so in the moment to get it done and happening that everything else kind of went out the window. And I was trying to be like, oh, we're here. We're doing this. I mean, I had to tell him, don't chop him yet. Wait 1 second. And then Mr. Z took that beautiful chop, and then we got the beautiful shout out. And it's one of my favorite videos we have on the channel. But it was surreal. It was just, I don't know. It's hard to explain that moment because you say you're going to do something, and I believe we could pull it off, but it's just like we had been tweeting him every day, no response. I didn't know if they were going to allow it. I didn't know if he would want to do it. There was so many other variables that were like, okay. And when it happened, and it was just that way, it was like, this is amazing. And what a great day. What a great moment in that.
But
you gotta. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
You also have to give credit to Miguel for taking the damn job.
No, I
mean, as much as I understand we got to put over the superstars there, you also got to put over our talent because that man took it. And you can see it's not like Matt Cardona didn't just go, okay, boom, here.
He laid it in.
Chop.
No, he laid it in. You heard it. You could hear it on the video. And I mean, I gave Miguel his flowers right after that Sunday, I think last Sunday. You know, I praised him because, I mean, that was a big step. And he took a real chop from a real professional wrestler. So, you know, anybody that wants to chop Mr. Z really has to step up their game. So.
At WrestleMania, I think we dubbed it the Choppy World Tour.
Yes, we are going to go. If we can get to WrestleMania, ladies and gentlemen, if you can help us get there, if we can get there, Mr. Miguel Z is going to go on the Choppy World Tour. We are going to see how many wrestlers, independent, major company, whoever it may be, will chop this man. And we will go on a Choppy World Tour. We are down for it. It's going to be most fun, and it'll be the most entertaining thing. We're going to go on the Value Wrestling Choppy Tour. WrestleMania weekend.
We talk about how surreal this was. I mean, that compares it to the very first shout out, Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf. I mean, of this things that just happened. I didn't think the man was going to do it, and all it cost me was a beer. But thank you again. Thank you. We are so grateful.
And we love Jacob Fatu, and we were supporting Jacob Fatu before he ever got into WWE, and now that he's in WWE, we're just happy to see him there. And excelling and achieving and becoming a main event star in the making. This man is going to be huge. They're already pushing him, even if you can't see it completely. He's got a lot of backing, a lot of support. Jacob Fatu looking like a badass, and that's no joke.
Yep. And then,
I thought Jacob Fatu was a superstar, seeing him as MLW World Champion.
Yeah.
Now he's got the WWE machine behind him? Come on now. Come on.
Yeah,
that man's going places.
And of course, if we're going to talk about, go ahead.
You're shooting it because I was going to go for it, but go ahead.
Well, were you going to change subject, or are you staying on that subject? Because I'm about to
staying on that subject.
Okay, go ahead and finish on that subject because I was going to pivot to another buddy of ours. But go ahead and finish your thought on Jacob.
That's where I was going to. So go ahead. You're taking.
Okay. So we're. Like minds think alike, and of course, if we talk about Stockton Con, we talk about Jacob Fatu, we can't forget one of our biggest supporters, one of our biggest fans, one of our biggest allies, I would say, and the one, the only, AJ Kirsch. Yes, Mr. Kirsch has been a great ally. We saw him at Stockton Con, and we talked about a lot about that last weekend, I know, but it's still a lot of catching up. Mr. Clarke wasn't here, but we had a great time with Mr. Kirsch. We had a beautiful video that we had filmed, but unfortunately the audio didn't work out. So what we're doing, we're going to make that up, and it is pretty much in the ground. I would say it's about 99% confirmed. We are talking September 28th. The Value Wrestling is going to be able to sit down with AJ Kirsch, hopefully for a nice, clean interview. We're gonna really introduce the Value Wrestling to AJ Kirsch. We're going to put AJ Kirsch out into the universe. We're really going to let him shine, and we're going to talk about his history, his story, how he got into wrestling, what he's doing now, and what's upcoming, because he has a lot of things upcoming from Mr. Kirsch. We're going to let him really have a great interview and a great time there, and that's going to happen at Lodi Comic-Con, September 28th, which means me and Mr. Z will be at Lodi Comic-Con doing our thing like we always do it. But again, without Mr. Z, we wouldn't have AJ Kirsch. Their friendship and connection got the network in, and we thank Mr. Kirsch for everything, and of course we thank you, Mr. Z, for pulling a lot of these strings. I mean, the Realm of Warriors wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for Mr. Z. and of course we will be working with SPW. We're waiting for some feedback from them. We got connected to SPW through Mr. Z, and then we were at StocktonCon. They were there, and we had that conversation, and I think we rectified things, hopefully. So we hope that Sir Samurai and Scoot, if you guys are watching us, we definitely want to work out. We've reached out to you. We're just waiting for a response. We're sorry we couldn't be at this show this past weekend, but logistics stuff. And I know there's a couple other companies that Mr. Z is talking to. It's just logistics and dates, and it's kind of hard to. We're trying to stay away from doubling up. We have summers.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing. The only thing is I'm going to reach back out to him saying that we can't double up that day because it's the day of SummerSlam. That would have been our next event in series.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there's other companies we're looking into. It's just getting dates because we're trying not to double up ourselves, so we're extending ourselves, but we're getting there. We're building a lot of ground and we're making moves. We're making big moves, and you all are a big part of that as we grow and are fun of this. Anyways,
well, I mean, look at our count, brother. I mean, guys, 547.
Yeah, we were soaring. We were growing.
Yeah.
And our chat, we get more people talking in our chat. We'll see if some of our old friends in the weekly shows show up. But hey, we're here, and this is your weekly roundup. We're going to talk about everything professional wrestling. We're going to take time out to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, what's going on there. We're going to get you a little snidbit, a little taste, a little sample. It's like Baskin Robbins. It's like Stone Cold Creamery. You walk in, you get your little sample. We're going to give you a little sample of that. And, of course, Mr. Clarke's back, so you never know when you're going to have a special Clarke report breakout. So I know you've all missed it. He knows he's missed it. The never-dying thing that Clarke report will live on forever. Ladies and gentlemen,
man,
here's the thing. Maybe we'll break it down for you. If we do the Choppy World Tour, maybe we'll take the Clarke report on tour in Las Vegas, Nevada for WrestleMania weekend. We can have breaking Clarke reports throughout the weekend of WrestleMania.
My ninja, what is wrong with you?
And now if you see me flying off a building somewhere, you know what happened, Anywho, we won't be throwing any mattresses off the top of a hotel roof, at least. And if anybody
we see you flying off the top of a roof,
if anybody brings a line and
we see. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if anybody brings a line into the hotel room, we're in bad shape.
I mean, are we going to make this a WrestleMania in 2020? We're throwing people over the roof now?
No, we'll go back to WCW when Hulk Hogan threw the Giant off the top of the arena and the
monster truck.
Yeah. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Value Wrestling. Welcome to your weekly roundup. It's been a minute since we all three could sit down here and shoot and hit the gambit, so it's a bunch of fun. I know we haven't really gotten into any big in the news of the week. And again, I don't know if there's necessarily a whole lot of huge, big breaking news. There was stuff. Now, granted, we could talk about this. I'm sure everybody's upset. We weren't here Friday night to bring you a SmackDown post-show review. We normally do, but we looked at it, we watched it, and we all kind of cringed, maybe, because it was just a feeder show. LA Knight beat...
It was a golden pattern show.
LA Knight beat Santos Escobar to continue this feud with LA Knight, which is kind of... They didn't really do much to elevate that. We got most of the show was a gauntlet match that featured Angel and Humberto, who felt important when they came in and didn't. And they lost to Apollo and Baron Corbin. And Baron Corbin and Apollo lost to the Street Profits. And the Street Profits ran through pretty deadly. And then the OC got fed to the Street Profits. And you're kind of like, I think the OC should have beat the Street Profits there. Because it would have been more fun to see Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in the ring with Tama Tonga. Even if Tonga Leo wasn't in the ring, the moment there, the spectacle that could have been there, the little hints or the little jabs that could have been made there.
The little Easter eggs.
Yes. And again.
Tama Tonga, and Carl Anderson would have took me back to Wrestle Kingdom. I just would love to see those two mix it up one more time.
And then you had, Tonga Lea out there playing his best Nick Fury with the one-eye patch for stupidity reason. And now WWE's really booked him in the corner because next week the tag team titles are on the line again as DIY is going to face the Bloodline.
The Bloodline.
And I don't know how you get out of that. So I don't think you want DIY to lose the titles that quickly. Bloodline wins the titles. What do you do with DIY? It's just, I don't know. And even,
but here's my only issue with it is that you don't have the only true tag team in the Bloodline gunning for them belts.
well, yeah, Tama Tonga Leo, the Guerrillas of Destiny coming out of New Japan, which Mr. Z can tell you all about, and Mr. Clarke can tell you a little about. But they're a very dominant and a team that's been there, and I mean they are Bullet Club. I mean, you look, and here's the crazy thing. We'll get into that in a minute here, but I mean, if anybody's not paying attention to this, anybody realize Bullet Club's taking over the world of professional wrestling? Whether it's all good or all bad, if you look across it, who's in the main event pictures in professional wrestling right now, and if you talk about names like Finn Balor, Tama Tonga Leo, Carl Anderson, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, Matt Nick Jackson, I mean, hell, the founding members of the Bullet Club are split between two companies, but they're pretty much ruling the wrestling world. But SmackDown was a little lackluster. Jacob Fatu came out looking good, but the Bloodline, Tama Tonga still looks like a joke. And then you had a main event where Bayley and Michin, sort of Michin, because she got jumped before the match and was out of the match, taking on Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. In a match that was annihilator. Nia Jax got the big win. She's not going to win at SummerSlam the way they're booking this right now. Bayley's going to come out winning, but that might be Tiffany's going to cash in. I don't know. Hopefully this week gets a little better. Raw's definitely looking really hot. There's a lot of stuff going on in Raw this week, so we'll have to wait and see what's going to go on SmackDown as we go into SummerSlam, which will be next Saturday. So we are a little less than a week away.
Yesterday.
So Saturday, we will be here with your SummerSlam post-show review to cover everything beautifully happening on SummerSlam. Hopefully SummerSlam lives up to a lot of the hype that is set out there. But otherwise, no, I don't think anybody here really had a big, yay, there was so much. I mean, it was like, we could get on here, we could talk about it, but I don't know if there was enough for us to have the energy to be hyped long enough to give you a decent show. And I just don't feel like if I can't give you that
next Friday, hopefully they give us something to chew on.
It's kind of why we walked away from AEW. I mean, it was just like we couldn't hype it. When we're getting to 20-minute shows trying to talk about AEW and nobody can hype it. I mean, it's like,
no.
Yeah.
You know what's sad is I can actually hype a Ring of Honor show better than I can an AEW show. And AEW is the one with the street cred, at the moment. With the mainstream cred, excuse me.
Yeah, I would say,
at least with Ring of Honor,
I think
it's about the wrestling. It's not about the storylines.
Yes.
And we're not lying about it.
Yeah. I think Ring of Honor has the street cred. AEW has the main, the big production cred, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Except when Ring of Honor becomes AEW Ring of Honor. That's the big news coming out of Tony Khan. If we're going to
possibility, we know.
Tony Khan wants to rebrand AEW or Ring of Honor as AEW Ring of Honor, meaning it would be AEW, but I guess the TV show or the brand, I don't know. I guess it would be like WWE. It'd be NXT. I don't even know what this point is going to be like. It's going to be AEW Ring of Honor. I guess
one commentator that I saw on X gave a perfect example of what it's going to be, possibly. WWE or WWECW. That's what it winds up being.
Oh.
It's a failure. It's not what it should be.
I was at least hoping maybe it would be NWA TNA, AEW Ring of Honor, but we know how Tony Khan makes everything that's AEW banner.
Mr. Khan, no means no. Just lay off of it just a little bit.
Leave Ring of Honor alone.
The problem is it is his company.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Speaking of companies, how do you feel about the comments that are coming out of Jeff Jarrett's mouth where he wants to buy back TNA?
I mean, if he's got the means,
No.
That doesn't bother me one way or another.
No, he needs to stay away from it. It didn't. I mean, is he going to bring it into an AEW fold? Is it going to be? It's where TNA is right now. They're successful. If WWE buys TNA and makes it a fourth brand, or they merge in, or whatever it becomes.
Short term, I agree with you. I don't know what the long term is because I don't know a lot of the. Remember, a lot of what's happening with the crossovers is the same thing that Vince McMahon did to the territories. So I'm still iffy on what the long term partnership is like. Are these tactics to eventually get these people into WWE, or will this actually benefit these smaller companies as well in the long term as well? We don't have the time behind them to know yet.
But we are
right.
seeing
And the thing
more,
was that with Triple H, with what he's doing, it feels like that maybe he's out to benefit the smaller company, which is great. But does he have the mindset of good old Pappy in the poaching of big stars?
I don't think Triple H has the same mindset as Vince McMahon to poach and take out the competition in that realm, because I think Triple H knows well enough that you have to have strong competition. And I think he understands working with companies like Noah, Bloodsport, and TNA, and these different companies, and starting to let the wrestlers wrestle in some of these indie shows. It's mutually beneficial, and I think he hopefully would have the right mindset. Yes, I think he does want to get a Jordan Grace in WWE. I definitely think he wants to get a Joe Hendry. But I would only wonder, if they're going to do that, will they do the right thing and help TNA find newer talent and bring in talent to keep them fresh? If they're going to take away, hopefully they're bringing some people in. I mean, even if they use it as a territory like OVW might have been in the day, or originally what NXT was when it was Florida Championship Wrestling, or FCW. If they're going to use it kind of a territory, if they're going to feed their system through that and use to do crossovers, I think it's great. I think TNA is more hot than it's been in a long time. Everybody is talking about TNA along with NXT, whether it be just Joe Hendry, but even with Nick Nemeth there and Ali being there and Moose and these names that are there, TNA does have some ground to stand on their own. Do I want to see Jarrett buy it? I don't know, because I feel like Jarrett's too tied to AEW. I don't know if he'd go back out on his own and try to give it its own flavor. And I just don't know.
The thing with Jarrett, and I've talked to a big wrestling fan, the one that does go out and meet these guys. He's met Jeff Jarrett, and when Jarrett was running Global Force. And I mean, he gave guys like he gave a lot of people a chance at Global Force, like Reno Scum out of Reno, Nevada. He gave a guy like rest in peace Virgil Flynn a showcase on his platform. A lot of these wrestlers that we see at like Rome of Warriors, Championship Wrestling, or SPW, he's giving them a platform. So I mean, if that's the ground he's doing, I'm all for it. But if he's going to group it in with AEW because he's friends with old Snowman Tony, I don't want to see it.
All right, I got kind of a pivot for you guys then. Right now, Scott D'Amore can't do anything because he's still being paid by Anthem to basically not do anything. 2025 though, he does have a he's copywritten or trademarked or whatever, Maximum Pro Wrestling. He intends to start his own promotion again. Granted, it's in Canada, but he will be back in wrestling eventually. How do you feel about that? As we had so much praise for him when he was the president of TNA, he still has those connections, even if he can't, compete until next year.
I think there's an opportunity there. It'll be interesting to see what he does. I don't know if he's going to have to be able to get names, or if he's going to have to build names. As long as he stays out of AEW, I think I'm happy. In one sense, yes, go to AEW if Tony Khan's going to give you the full book and let you really do what you're good at. But I'd also like to see Scott D'Amore maybe help fill in the holes with WWE. But if he's going to open his own company, more power to him. Maybe he can help work with some of these other places to grow. Maybe he works as a partnership with WWE. Maybe he works with a partnership with TNA. Maybe he works with a partnership with AEW. Who knows? But I really hope he does succeed. I'd be excited to see that.
Look at the landscape in Canada alone. If he wants to do something out there, there's plenty of promotions he can go out there and help and benefit.
To pivot on a pivot, is there any connection to the announcement that Freddie Prinze Jr. is making that he's starting his own wrestling company?
Oh, that's been out there for
that's been out for a while.
But he's been working on that.
But it sounds like it's official. He's got a big announcement either coming or whatnot about the next step in that process.
So I listened to a podcast clip recently where he said it's like almost done, but not quite. I guess he's got to deal with some company out there, but they got to go to their top boss. There's a I can't even say the damn word. It's a smaller part of the company.
Yeah, from article I read, he's
so they need to go to the head honcho.
Yeah. From an article I read, it sounds like he's got that next step. It's like the next big announcement in this that they're moving forward next year.
I just want him. I'm hopefully, if that's what he's going to do, go in with your own mindset. Please do not take Redacted's way of booking or what you're doing.
Oh,
with
no.
No,
if you've ever listened to him talk, he's got his own podcast. He's been
Really?
talking about this for years.
Okay.
Larry Prince Jr.'s been talking about this.
Okay.
He comes from kind of the school of Lucha Underground in the sense of come at it with your own mindset. Be innovative and be different from
something like Lucha Underground, please.
So the only thing I can see there is
when he says.
Go ahead. I was gonna move on, but go ahead and finish your thought on that.
All I was really saying is, like I said, he's not trying to take what Lucha Underground did, but like I said, it's the principle, the concept and principle of doing something different, doing it that, because just being WWE Light's not going to do him any good. Let's be honest.
No. Yeah.
And he knows that as being a former head writer, former writer. I don't know if he was head, but he was at least a former writer for WWE.
Yes.
He knows how that system works. He watches how the current competition works. It's time to do something different.
It just makes me
and
wonder.
So I'm excited to see what he can produce.
Yeah, it just makes me wonder what a Freddie Prinze Jr. can do with his own company, Scott Nomura can do with his company when you have OVW trying to make moves, NWA with Billy Corgan, what they're trying to do, with what GCW is trying to make big waves. GCW pretty much becoming the modern era ECW, which I think makes Tony Khan jealous in ways that Tony Khan can't deal with. But that's a whole different story. Right. But I think we're getting really heavy on. There's independents, like we want to cover the local independents, but these are like independents that might have TV that are kind of that next level. And I'm like, I guess business is good when you have a lot of them, but then again, how many can you have before there's too many of them, So there's that good and bad balance, Because there's a lot of talent, but only talent can go so far, and then who has who and everything else. It's going to get interesting as we see these two.
Well, that's also why NWA has been starting to sign exclusive contracts in more recent year, because even Billy Corgan is feeling the heat there.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting to see TNA is not pushing as hard as on exclusive contract, because some of their guys are not necessarily under contract. We know the Hardy Boys for sure are on agreement contracts. They're not on hard contracts right now.
Handshake deals.
I guess a lot of that is waiting for Jeff WWE to bring back Jeff and Matt, because we know Jeff. I don't know where Matt stands on it. I think Matt just wants to go wherever Jeff's going right now. I think he just wants to see Jeff be happy, because a lot of what I'm hearing from Matt, he's just kind of there to, at least let Jeff have what's remaining, because Jeff's even said his time's almost up, and he definitely wants to get back into the WWE. I know there's a lot of big pushes for the Hardy Boys to go into the Hall of Fame next year. I don't think that would be a bad idea. But it's getting interesting. And speaking of crossovers, we had a big crossover today. Was it today? Yeah, it was today. GCW's Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 11 took place. And you'll have to help me with any of these names if you guys are familiar with them. We had a Heidi Carrillo defeat Bryan Johnson by submission.
Oh wow! Hold on, let me get that real quick. All right, so let me go ahead. Well, here we go. Okay. Yeah. All right. Got you right here.
Yeah, and a Heidi Carrillo beat Bryan Johnson for submission. And then WWE's Julius Creed defeated Matt Makowski by knockout.
Yeah.
Masha Slamovich, which she's part of TNA, defeated Jody Threat by knockout.
Also from TNA.
Royce Isaac knocked out Charlie Dempsey of NXT, or William Regal's son, by submission.
Wait, hold on. Royce Isaacs, good God.
He used to be a part of NWA for a while.
And he was with New Japan Pro as well. So that's a big win. I'll take that.
He beat Charlie Dempsey by submission. Charlie Dempsey, of course, the son of William Regal. He's doing a lot of great things, and I think he's going to be a great talent once they really start. He's doing some good stuff in NXT, but he's not right in this. He's still in that green territory. They really haven't pushed him, but I think there's a star in the making there. Mike Bailey defeated Akira.
Yes.
The current TNA X Division champion, Mike Bailey, defeated Akira.
Speedball.
By
Mike
knockout.
Bailey.
Yes. Then Brutus Creed defeated Tom Lawler by knockout.
I'm done.
Why is that?
Wow.
Why is that?
That is filthy Tom Lawler, folks. Brutus Creed picking up the big win. Oh, wow.
Homicide defeated Mike Santana by referee stoppage.
Ooh. That's my boy, Homicide. That's right.
Then, this one for Mr. Z. Josh Barnett defeated Bad Dude Tito by knockout.
Oof.
MVP confronted Josh Barnett and challenged him to a future fight, and Barnett agreed. And clarified at MVP clarified at this event he is wrapping up or is done with WWE. Josh Woods beat Timothy Thatcher. And Shayna Baszler defeated Mio Yamashita due to referee stoppage. Josh Woods beat Timothy Thatcher Josh Woods and Timothy Thatcher went to a double countout. Shayna Baszler defeated Mio Yamashita by referee stoppage.
Yeah. Wow.
Definitely an event to go look at. I haven't watched it, but I've heard a lot of great things. A lot of great Shayna Baszler came out and was pretty vicious. Aside of Shayna Baszler, we don't see in WWE. Maybe that side we need to see in there. But that was Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 11. With a lot of crossover, TNA, WWE, NXT, lots of big names showing up there today at a big event. Definitely want to go check that out.
The Josh Woods one that shocks me because Tim Thatcher, I mean, he's a sav in his own weird way. I mean,
in his submission
you've seen
way.
him, in his own submissions. You've seen him again. You've seen him in NXT. You've seen him on the Indies. I mean, he brings something different. That, like I said, I might have to check this one out because him losing, just the draw in general is going to be interesting to watch.
What I'm understanding, it was a damn good show for what it was.
Yeah, it always is. Bloodsport is always a hell of a show.
I remember Timothy Thatcher 2011 when we were going to indie shows.
Exactly.
So
Former
when
Pro
he came
Wrestling
to
Bushido
NXT, I was
champ.
very surprised. I was like, okay, I can't say a hometown boy, but I mean a home state boy at least.
Yeah, well, he's from Sacramento. Yeah.
So, Mr. Clarke, the pivot, let's go back old school. If I say 3 words, payable on death, what do you think of?
Payable on death?
Payable on death.
Nothing off the top of my head, to be honest.
What? Really? You wouldn't know who payable on death is?
Oh, payable on death. I think it's table. POD. Fucking
POD, yes. Payable, the youth of the nation and the masters behind Bukai 619. This being reported, Ringside News. POD lead vocalist claims WWE has not paid the band for Rey Mysterio's Bukai 619 theme song. Rey Mysterio is a revered veteran in the professional wrestling world, known for his undeniable influence on the industry. His theme song is also one of the most iconic in WWE history, but it appears the band, and somebody left off their sentence. Anyway, dating back to the early 2000s, Rey Mysterio's entrance theme in WWE Bukai 619 was created by the band POD, which stands payable on death. Technically, partly a Christian band. If you did not know that, now you know. Knowing's half the battle. Anyways, there are countless memories associated with the song as well. Sonny Sandoval, the lead vocalist and co-founder of POD, recently appeared on Drinks with Johnny and talked about the band's experience with WWE regarding their music. Sandoval revealed that while WWE has requested to use their music, the band often did not receive financial compensation. Instead, WWE offered publicity as a substitute for payment. Sandoval mentioned that even when their song was featured at major events like WrestleMania 40, POD did not see any financial gain from it. Sandoval explained that WWE, being such a massive and influential entity, would often ask to use music without offering payment, promising significant exposure instead. Sandoval noted that although POD's songs continue to be played during Rey Mysterio's entrance, the band had not benefited financially from their use. He described the situation as a game, reflecting the complex nature of their dealings with WWE. And Sandoval goes on to say, and I quote, "Sometimes we've done stuff with WWE, and because WWE is so huge, they're so powerful of an empire even back then. But they can say, can we use your music? Yes, okay, we're not going to pay. Yes, okay, we're not going to pay you for it, but because we're WWE, we're going to get you so much press, you know what I mean? And get so much hype. And at some point, you're like, dang, okay, I guess so. Because even now, I still hear it when Rey comes out. Rey Mysterio comes out, Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania, you're like, dude, they're still playing our jam. Big shout out to Mad One. It's like they're still playing our tune, but we ain't seen none of that. It's a game, bro. It's a game. As for Rey Mysterio himself, he underwent stem cell therapy and competed in his first world title match in a year this week. Nonetheless, some fans might be surprised by this revelation given by Sony Sandoval, but the WWE name certainly has a lot of brand value that also matters in the end. What are your views on WWE not paying POD for Rey Mysterio's songs? Do you feel they should be paying the band? What are your thoughts, gentlemen?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, of course.
Well,
To me, it makes no sense. I mean, I understood why Paul Heyman in the ECW days didn't do it, because they didn't have the funds.
No.
WWE does not have that excuse. I mean, come on, even Tony Khan is willing to pay for mainstream songs when it's appropriate, when he finds it appropriate. To say, oh, we're just going to give you exposure. They already had exposure.
Mhm.
Now, yeah, being a part of the WWE machine, sure, that's even more exposure. But you don't need to make them starving artists either. Okay?
No.
These labels do not pay these bands like you think they would. Because they're paying for every bloody other thing.
It's all under
Pay
contract.
the
It's all,
damn band.
it's all manipulation and value.
Well, there's a thing
it's
too.
a
I'm
WWE.
wondering, like, when they're saying they haven't been paid in forever. I would assume this would be on Redacted's books. They need to look back and see what the heck happened, because if someone's not aware that they didn't get paid, then he needs to figure that out.
That would be
or they
my
need to
big
change the
question
song.
now, is if we're under a new regime and under TKO and under Endeavor, if anybody actually knows the details of that, or if he's speaking up the fact that they're still using it. Because WWE, with the new regime, they might not know that these people aren't getting paid or what the agreement is, and think, oh, it's okay, we've been doing it, it's what we do. You know, we don't know what the deal is now. And this is probably when the band should reach out and make new contacts and see. But yes, WWE should be, paying something at this point. And again, it doesn't sound like they ever paid them. All they offered them was the publicity aspect of it. And maybe in the very, very beginning when they used some of POD's songs, I don't know if POD was as mainstream at that time. But nowadays, yeah, I don't know, POD is still as mainstream as it was when we were, when they were making their big splashes. I mean, Click, Click, Boom, and some of the other songs out there.
That's Saliva, is not
Oh,
POD.
my bad. Yes. Didn't they have a song for Fast and Furious 2, though?
Here Comes the Boom.
There we go.
The closest association I can make.
Okay, that may be where I'm going. Anyways. But yeah, I think, if you're POD, I think you reach out to WWE. I don't know if WWE in the current realm, TKO, Endeavor, know the standings there. And maybe they do, and they're still doing it. So, I mean,
It's hard to say, because I can understand that argument for the masses.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to merge or buy a company or whatever, you're supposed to look deep into the books to see if it's a good investment. I've watched plenty of podcasts where Eric Bischoff, when he was trying to buy WCW,
yeah.
and the people he was with, talking to him on how you buy a company or merge with a company, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you're supposed to look deep into those books to find out if it's worth it to you or not. Now, you can also make the argument that this is a very small part of the overall picture for them, so it would be easy to
and we don't
have
know
that fall under the cracks.
We don't really know all the details about the Endeavor purchase of WWE, merging with UFC, creating TKO, because there was a lot of shady stuff that I think Vince was pulling at that time. Because Vince real quickly got with his buddy Ari Emanuel, and all of a sudden it was like, there was a lot of shady things that I still think we never understood. So I don't know how much was disclosed. I don't know how much Vince has hidden away. We just don't know anymore. So, I mean, at this point, though, if it's being announced, I think POD is banned, needs to approach WWE, TKO, or whoever at this point and go, hey, you guys are still using our song. We want some type of compensation that is fair and, work that agreement out. Or at least POD maybe POD can start creating theme songs for all the wrestlers and get paid for it. That might make a lot of people happy.
There is a handful that can use a redo, definitely. So if they want to go that route, I'm all for it.
I mean, let's put it this way, though. If Rhea Ripley can come out to a song by Motionless in White, which apparently is still a mainstream band, not my taste, with the exception of that tune, but I do know some fans out there that just love that band. So I'm like, okay. So we know they're willing to spend the money if they find it appropriate.
Edge still comes out to his theme song by agreement with the lead singer of...
Yep. No, we got that.
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of the name of the band at the moment.
Yeah.
And then Cody comes out to his song.
Yep.
Yeah, by Down Straight. As far
as Down Straight, yes.
Yeah.
And Down Straight's done a couple other...
Cody,
Down Straight's also doing Nick Nemeth.
Yeah, and the thing with Down Straight, it's like I didn't know until I started digging deep into New Japan history that Cody has had that song during his New Japan run.
Oh, yeah. He's had that for a while. Alter Bridge. Edge's Alter Bridge.
Yeah. There you
That's
go.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
For Edge.
So, who would you say is the biggest name on the independent scene? Who is the biggest name of professional wrestling right now that's not signed to WWE or AEW? Are you going to say his name? Is he going to appear?
We believe in Joe Hendry.
Joe Henry
250 pounds of motivation.
Yeah.
Joe Henry set to make an appearance at the House of Glory in September. Big announcement there. Going to make some independent signs. Right. Can't wait to see Joe Henry. That's going to be Sunday, September 29th. He's going to appear for House of Glory. Sorry. So that's going to be awesome. And he's going to have he's going to do a concert on NXT this week. Yeah, I was probably not happy about that. But Joe Henry, I probably would say, is the biggest name out there that's not signed to a major company. I could see the fight for Jordan Grace and a couple other names.
If his concert is as great as his song for AJ Francis, I'm all for it.
You can't die being
You are banned from diving.
The Cheez-Its World Champion.
Yeah.
So I know the title of the show, and a lot of people are probably like, right, you haven't even talked about the title of the show because we've talked about Pump for Life, Bryan Danielson's contract. We did touch on that, actually, that we don't know if he's about to be a free agent. And then Buddy's Trapped. Who are we talking about? Buddy Matthews. AEW Buddy Matthews looks like he's tried a couple of times to get out and go back to WWE. But it does look like now that Tony Khan, in a different story, has offered him so much money he couldn't refuse to leave. But he still wants out. I don't know. Conflicting rumors about Buddy Matthews trying to get out of WWE or AEW to go back to WWE. I'd love to see him go back to WWE right now, be inserted into the storyline, bringing that real life aspect of being married to Rhea Ripley and wanting to take out Dom, especially now that there's videos and tweeters and all that out there where Rhea Ripley's confessing her love for Daddy Dom.
Would it be interesting? Sure. I don't know what to think or how to feel because he's got to make his business decisions over his, personal life in this case.
Yeah. I mean, if they're throwing so much money at him, I mean, and most of the time he's sitting at home anyways or catering, can always collect the check.
Well, if there is catering AEW.
Shoot, Tony, pay us. I mean, we're sitting at home already. We will praise you to the moon if you paid us just a little bit, bit.
Buddy Matthews is an eminent member.
Some of us do not own knee pads.
Buddy Matthews is an eminent member of the House of Black and has officially extended his contract with AEW, it seems, thus securing himself as a key player in the wrestling company for the next few years. This follows previous rumors about his career prospects. In today's Wrestling Observer newsletter report, it was established that they talked between Matthews and AEW ended months before, which sources say resulted in what is called a lucrative deal. It can be implied that the lucrative deal offered played a major part in convincing Matthews to stay in AEW, thereby aligning his career completely within the company. Meltzer stating that at one point Matthews wanted out, but it is now looking like a huge. I mean, this is supposed to be a massive deal. From every aspect I've heard from this, it's a massive, massive deal. Like Tony Khan paid out.
So is he
big.
getting Monet money or is he getting Rainmaker money?
It will not tell me, but I mean, it seems like he got a big deal to stay in AEW, which I probably would say for him is a bad deal. I mean, unless it's in that $1 million range.
Exactly.
Buddy Matthews is not going to be a guy that I see being used beyond the House of Black unless Malachi Black leaves and Brody King leaves AEW. Then maybe you do something with Buddy Matthews, but I don't know what you do with Buddy Matthews. He's kind of got himself locked into a team.
Brody King probably won't leave because I mean he was traveling the world for the longest time. I'm pretty sure he's like Tomohiro Ishii and enjoys being stateside with a limited schedule.
So Brody King can't go to WWE.
If he wanted to, by all means.
I mean,
but I don't think he'd leave, you know.
I've heard sources that him and Malachi Black are talking about leaving. Malachi Black definitely seems to be one that's definitely out the door. His contract's coming up sooner than the rest. And I'm sure he needs to go.
Let's be honest here, folks. There are those that, I'm going to go there, who don't like the grind, so to speak. And then there's those that do.
I'd love to see Malachi Black. I'd love to see Brody King in WWE. I think Brody King would get better exposure. At least there'd be some use of big man. Mm-hmm. Tony Khan doesn't know how to use a big man.
Definitely.
He uses them in spectacles. No. I mean, like, did you hear this week on Dynamite? One of our favorite big men in professional wrestling is going to go up one-on-one against Will Ospreay on Dynamite. Out of blue, being mostly used in Ring of Honor, the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, he gets a one-on-one bout with Will Ospreay.
No.
On Dynamite.
What are you doing to this man? What are you doing to this man?
Haven't they had some fights in New Japan?
Yes, they did. Great ones, but they're not going to have a great one here.
Lance Archer said this would be their fourth face-off. But yeah, I just without any build-up, without any storyline, and with the way Lance Archer's booked in AEW, he does not feel like a threat to Will Ospreay.
No.
Now, granted, Will Ospreay will let him do all his stuff and make him look good, but he's going to go down in defeat.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, I can't get excited. I love Lance Archer. I love the Murder Hard Monster, what he can do. I love the fact that he was hanging out with the Vincent and come on, Mr. Clarke. You should know their name.
Talking about the Righteous.
Yes, there we go.
Yep.
Hanging out with the Righteous. I thought he was doing great things there, but I don't know. Tony Khan goes and drops the ball and does weird stuff. It never makes sense. The Atlantic title that went to the international title has now gone to the American title. Again, we don't know how long that American title frame will work, but again, it's storyline. It's been switched for the third time. And it looks like that title's being hot potatoed.
Well, also consider, though, that whole storyline, they stole from New Japan.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, they did.
So are we
Tony Khan does not have an original idea.
So my question,
the fact that Blood and Guts is really their version of War Games.
Cornette has said it once before. There's no such thing as an original idea, but it's how you do it. But how you do it makes it better.
How you represent it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, New Japan just did the dual international U.S. championships recently. So Tony Khan copying that as shortly as they did that and then ended that. My question is: this going to be
right?
Is this going to be two bouts together once? Because it looks like what is booked now, and what is shitty is Hawk won a match to become the number one contender for the international title. Then made the statement that he can't wait to get to All In, which was the prediction that he should be facing the international champion at All In. Well, now that's out of the picture, so now Park is not going to have probably a major match. I mean, he'll have a match on All In, I'm sure, but it won't be the major match that everybody felt he should get or deserves to get. Yeah. So, because you're going to have Will Ospreay versus MJF at All In, that's going to happen. So I was wrong there. I didn't think they'd push for that one that quickly, but cool. We're going to run it back for the AEW American International Championship. Does this mean that these are going to be two bouts? Or are they going to merge back into one bout? Because Ospreay, MJF pulled the WCW joke and dropped the international title in the garbage can. Yes, WWE dropped, the 24/7 title in the garbage can where it deserved to go, so that's a little different than dropping other belts in the garbage can.
Paging David Finley, can you bring your sledgehammer to All In, please, and destroy?
Do you really want to do? Get off the go. Bye. Tasty Toes time. You really want to put David Finlay on AEW TV? Did you just put that man on AEW TV?
I'm going to face the corner. My bad.
Did you just open your mouth and say he needs to show up on an AEW program with a sledgehammer? Did you really just say that? Tasty Toes. Jesus. What a bad jinx, bad karma, bad mojo. You put that out in the universe.
Put him in the corner with the Tasty Toast snacks. We get it.
Oh, my Jesus. Find your wiener and pet it. Anyways.
Oh, jeez. Oh. Mm-hmm.
I don't even know where to go now. Because
You like how
they
it's
stay back on track.
So, are we going to have two titles? Are we going to merge them back together? I feel Will Ospreay is going to win this match against MJF, so we're going to it's going to hot potato the title back. Now Will Ospreay is going to be a two-time international, or I don't know what we're going to call the title, but I'm like, this match, you had these men go 60 minutes, basically. MJF cheated to win. Now you're running it back at All In. I mean, I could be wrong. MJF could beat Ospreay again.
He cheated with a diamond ring that has no significance anymore. I don't even know it ever did.
Well, he's the only person to ever win it, right?
Yeah, that's
That
the
is.
thing.
I thought Wardlow had it at one point.
No.
Oh,
Wardlow
snap.
carried it, but never had it.
Oh, okay,
Correct.
all right.
But I don't even know who's Wardlow.
Or what? Low who?
Anywho, what? I mean, is this a new? I don't know. What do you guys think of this mess? Are you
It's a
ready
mess.
for You ready for MJF and Will Ospreay at All In again? I mean, yes, the
No.
in-ring work will be great, but I mean, I don't know how you top a 1 hour match.
You can't necessarily 1-to-1 ratio make it better. You can make it different, which could also, for some fans, make it better.
Yes.
Now, what they do, how they do that, I don't know.
I mean, you think the ante or the stakes should be raised, and we're not getting any of that. Tony Khan, again, I think everybody's pointing at Tony Khan, and Tony Khan, of course, comes out and goes, I'm the victim of criticism. I get more criticism than anybody else because Tony Khan, you book garbage. You give us a 60-minute match on Dynamite 250 between two of your biggest stars, and you have MJF win, take the title. Now he has the title, now you're going to run it back, but normally you don't run back rematches. You don't do that. So this time you are, and now you've created another title that we don't know if it's another title that you're going to keep, because we don't need another fucking title in this fucking company. And we'll speak more about more titles in the company, because we got another issue with titles here in a second. But it's just, I don't know. I just, All In is not looking that great, and they're trying to make All In this big deal. And now WWE's doorstepping on coming into Wembley too with WrestleMania very soon.
Is this year's All In going to be like last year? Absolutely not. But, like with any good show that you come with, if you come in with no expectations, which I don't at this point, you just let the in-ring work if you're entertained by that.
But that's
See what
about
you-
it.
But that's all AEW is.
You
It's
talk
in-ring work.
about the disappointing that, like you said, they went 60 minutes on a big show. That's fine. Free TV. Let's not make no money off of it. That's almost as bad as we're gonna bring Adam Copeland out and not do nothing with him forever and on in. We'll have him win a title, lose a title, and whatever happened to that, who knows? I'm not excited. I don't even know what to think of this show anymore. I totally forgot they were doing it.
I don't think you want to be named Adam and be in AEW.
Right?
Oh, whatever happened to
Jeez.
him? Where's he at?
Which one?
Adam Cole. Where the hell is Adam Cole?
Well, we just got back Adam Hangman Page from injury or whatever. He's looking worse as a goozle. And then we had Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts. Come on. Where's the excitement? Blood and Guts.
I think between the three of us, I was okay with it more than you two. And I said okay with it. I didn't say I was excited. I didn't say it was but by the time
They
we got
were
to the
they
end,
were
I
going to
understood.
light a man on fire.
Again.
That was the biggest drawing spot of it. They
Well,
were going to potentially light a man on fire.
Again.
Like watching Beavis and Butthead.
They once lit a man on fire, and they were going to do it again. That's their go-to. Well, we'll make it. Again, I have to steal from Mr. Clarke's playbook on this one. When we talked about anarchy in the arena, it was a spectacle. What was blood and guts? It was completely a spectacle. And when I look at it that way, I'm just kind of like, cool. The bad part was the unprotected chair shots, because I think in this day and age, we know the unprotected chair shots are just extremely too dangerous, and just not even worth the time. I mean, you have a man handcuffed to a cage who can't protect. It's just bad. And your AEW versus Elite War is now over, I guess, because now the AEW team of Misfit Toys won. I don't know. It was a spectacle. You enjoyed it for the spectacle, but I don't think it did anything to progress anything anywhere else. I think the Elite looked like the biggest joke. Okada looks like an even bigger joke, and you're paying this man millions of dollars. The biggest man in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is a guy that stands on the New Japan Pro Wrestling mountain with Antonio Inoki, and he looks like the biggest joke in AEW.
I can't defend it anymore. I've tried.
And
what they've done to him, I can't defend it anymore. I can't be comfortable on the rebound defending this man if that's all they're doing with him.
And did we not have like 3 of the pillars in this match too? Did we not have Darby and Jungle Boy, or Jack Perry and Adam Page, who were originally like 3 of the 4 pillars of AEW? And Darby Allin, the Superman that cannot die, which cool, I get it, but it's like, nah. Jack Perry, it's like he's a scapegoat, and they keep using him as the scapegoat. I mean, he almost got lit on fire.
The gimmick.
I mean, does it really help him? Does he feel like any more of a serious threat?
Does he care? He's getting paid. He's the TNT champion. Does he care?
He should care. Give me something if you want to get over, you need to do something more than be the joke of the butt of the group that you're the idiot. Anyways.
Well, remember Sammy Guevara was the running joke after getting hit by a golf cart forever.
Well, that's Chris Jericho's casting couch, buddy, but that's a whole different story. We haven't seen him on TV. Where's he?
Apparently him and his wife are training for a comeback.
Oh, okay.
For how long? 6 months?
A year?
Don't know.
6
Tony
months?
Khan's power of the pen.
Like 3? It'll be 6 months before he does something stupid and gets suspended again. Because he's not hurt. As far as I understand, he's on a suspension from the incident with Jeff Hardy, excuse me.
Jeff Hardy, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's where he is. And Ricky Starks is just, I guess, being left out in the dark. Might as well let Ricky Starks go. Tony, I thought you created AEW to give these wrestlers a place to make money and apply their craft. So why are you holding so many people hostage like a guy that we call Redacted around here did for a while? Huh? Oh, but you're the most criticized. Oh, they criticized me so much. But
Remember, they were the safest place to work.
In a 24-hour time period, as I recall, Tony Khan was at, not even 24 hours, I believe it was on the same Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor media call. He was asked if he worked with WWE. Oh, yeah, I'd work with WWE. He'd be happy, he'd love to. He doesn't see it happen, because I can kind of agree. I don't know what the benefit for WWE would be to have a co-produced show with AEW. And I only say that because you have to look at how do both companies make themselves come out looking strong and get something out of it to benefit both of them. And I don't know if there's enough from AEW to help WWE. And again, I think to a lot of fans, it would look like WWE trying to help, like it's like Big Brother trying to help little sister or little brother. It's kind of like.
Here's the other part of that.
Go ahead.
Half the damn roster, it seems like, are former WWE guys. What would it do for them?
Well, the only thing
you want to talk about being helpful to other guys. Look at we talked Ring of Honor. I mean, look at who their 6-man tag team champions are.
We haven't even gotten to that, so you need to hold on to that. Let's just wait because we got to talk about that. We got to talk about that in title mess.
I don't know. What am I supposed to hold on to?
The only thing your wiener. The only thing that would be interesting to see in a WWE AEW co-promoted show would be what happened when CM Punk crossed Tony Khan. Of course, then we'd have to see what happened with CM Punk and Jungle Boy. Of course, now it looks like Drew McIntyre's running around hanging out with Jungle Boy and tweets that got deleted.
That's
He
why
got
on our
scared.
Patreon, we still have that picture, and I still got that article up there.
It was deleted. That's
Yes.
hilarious.
Yes, it's been taken down. It's been like, no, you can't do that.
I
That's
saw it
bad.
an hour after he posted it. I made sure to grab that picture. I made sure to write that article. So I wanted that in our history.
But the only thing I'd want to see in that show is what would happen when you see CM Punk and Tony Khan cross faces. Would Tony Khan hover and hide? Would he have to hide behind Triple H?
No, he might let him loose. He won't see him out of here.
Did you
Don't worry,
see?
Punk, we got a team of lawyers to help you out if something happens.
Did you see Triple H
There you
and
go.
Tony Khan sitting in Gorilla together, co-producing a show? Tony Khan would be like that little kid that you know when you had a little annoying kid, or if you've ever tutored a kid or big brother the kid, or had that little kid that you were trying to mentor for whatever reason, and they're just always like, "Why are you doing that? What's that? How do you do that? Why are you doing that?"
Sit down. Sit down. You're gonna treat him like little Jimmy. Just have a
course-
seat and
Of course,
put
Triple
your
H
hands
would
on the
probably
table
make him
and watch.
make him flush his powder down the toilet too. So Tony Khan would probably be in a bad mood the whole night. Now, Mr. Z talked about this briefly, and we're going to get into it. Now, last I recalled, and if I'm wrong, somebody tell me I'm wrong, but AEW had the AEW Trios titles. Ring of Honor had the six-man tag titles. Then Acclaimed won the titles, and Bang Bang Gang that took both sets of titles, combined them into one, and then we had the AEW Undisputed six-man trios champions, and the Bang Bang Gang was running around with 9 titles. Jay White got hurt. Safety scissors broke a blade or whatever it is, and he had to get taken out of action. That little screw in the middle of the scissors to keep the clipping came undone. Anyways, he went off to go get his scissors fixed. And so then they stripped him of the titles. For the first time in AEW history, they stripped somebody of titles. And then they had the very next week, the Bang Bang Gang with Juice Robinson take on the Patriarchy for the AEW Trios titles, now that it's been clarified. So now the Patriarchy are your AEW Trios champions, and then on Ring of Honor, whatever show it was, I don't know exactly, Dustin Rhodes teamed up with the Von Erichs and are now the Ring of Honor six-man tag team champions. So I'm confused. I thought we unified these titles so they could have 9 titles.
I believe it was at Battle of the Belts, wasn't it?
That
Match actually took place.
I have no clue. It's too much to
I
keep
didn't
up with.
watch it, but because I watched the 0 hour for Death Before Dishonor, I got a little bit of the story, but because I haven't been watching consecutively Ring of Honor shows, I don't know exactly how they explained that, even with the video package.
I don't know.
I just knew they were fighting for the titles.
I just saw that Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs won this Ring of Honor six-man tag titles, and I was like, wait a minute.
Right.
I thought those titles had all been combined, and then we made another set of trios titles that were the Undisputed Trio. So where's the Undisputed Trios titles? Are they just written out of
The
history?
pink ones, I think they're gone.
The way
The
I
pink
understood
ones-
it, the way I understood it even before was when the Bang Bang Gang were holding all 9 titles or whatever, you had the original AEW Trios titles, you had the Ring of Honor six-man titles, and then you had the special Acclaimed version.
Scissor. Yeah.
No, the
Scissor
Acclaimed. No,
belts.
there was the Acclaimed wore the AEW tag team to the trios titles. The black ones, the third ones that they
No,
were.
I'm saying
really-
when they got combined, when the Bang Gang got one.
No, the Bang Bang.
unification
No,
match.
when the Acclaimed won the trios titles, they got the pink belts. Those are the ones the
Right.
Bang Bang Gang won. And then when they won the Ring of Honor titles, they got the six-man. And then they got
What I'm
the
saying is
black belts. Or the original.
Yes, the black belts are what I'm calling the original.
Okay.
Those may
Before
be the
the
original,
same
but they were being labeled as the Undisputed Trios champions. That was the title that was given to them. The pink belts were supposed to be the AEW titles. The other belts were the Ring of Honor six-man belts. And then the what may have been the old AEW belts were being labeled as the Undisputed Trios champions.
But either way, there was 2 sets of AEW.
Basically,
titles,
yes. That's the confusing part. And then they I don't know. I have no clue. And
It's not the first time Tony Khan has not fully explained his idea behind the booking.
it's
Whether he
Just
does it
saying.
himself, whether he has his wrestlers do it. This is why I created the hashtag powder sniff booking line. Because it don't make sense.
So here's what we had at Battle of the Belts. We had the CMLL World Women's Championship Eliminator match between Willow Nightingale and Deonna Purrazzo. And then we had the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Championship belts against the Undisputed Kingdom against Natural Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs. So two teams who didn't even have the belts before just got a title shot. And then the AEW Women's Championship Eliminator match between Timeless Toni Storm and Tyra Valkyria. Timeless Toni Storm won that, so she doesn't get a title shot in the future. And let's see here. The winner of the CMLL World Women's Championship Eliminator match, CML World Champion Willow Nightingale. So Deonna Purrazzo got an eliminator match against the new CMLL World Women's Champion Willow Nightingale, but didn't win. So your mommy, your wifey, still being treated as a joke.
Yeah, get it right, damn it.
Still being treated as a joke in AEW. But can't even get a win over the CML World Champion. Why are we having the Women's CML World Champion Eliminator match? Why do these companies allow Tony Khan to book their titles in these weird, bizarro matches? Like, why would you even have eliminator matches? Don't they just fight, and if they pin the champion, they should get a title shot? This is fucking stupid. Why is Deonna Purrazzo such a joke to AEW? And I'm sorry, I know you love her, but I mean, she's been fighting Thunder Rosa since day one. And now she's over here fighting Willow Nightingale for a title that doesn't even belong to the company, but can't even get a win in an eliminator match to give us another match. I mean, if you're going to have an eliminator match, shouldn't the one that's trying to get a title shot win every once in a while? Because it seems like the last few eliminator matches have all been won by the champions. And you had two there.
I don't got the power of the pen for the company, so.
How do you have Battle of the Belts, but both the CML Women's World Championship is not on the line, and the Women's World Championship is not on the line? The AEW Women's Champion, it was an eliminator match, so the titles weren't even on the line, but it's a Battle of the Belts. This is like having Night of the Champions and not having all the titles on the line. Because that was originally what the NWA, WCW had planned for Night of Champions. Now, when WWE brought it over, they did it first, and then they kind of stopped doing it and just made it a pay-per-view. Don't tell me you're having
the Clash of Champions.
Yes. Don't tell me you're going to have a champion or a belt, a show that's called Battle of the Belts, and you're not going to have belts actually on the line. Why do you label it that? If it's Battle of the Belts, I'm expecting belts to be on the line. If you have champions, they should all be on the line. Then why are you calling it Battle of the Belts? If people are not actually fighting for the belts, they're fighting for a chance to get a shot at the belt, but then they lose.
I couldn't tell you.
This is garbage. I mean, and this is why Tony Khan gets all this criticism. This mother trucker won money. Goes, oh, I'd love to work with WWE. And then like 5 minutes later, he's saying, oh, WWE's PR team is telling everybody because I have sources that are talking to them, that are trusted, that are telling me that the PR team is telling people that we have a deal that's the same thing with AEW or Warner Brothers Discovery, and it's not true. Yeah, it's not true because you ain't got no deal. How about them apples? And why are you listening to these people,
Tony?
Tony?
We haven't finalized the deal, at least.
No, it's Tony and his Reddit folks. He loves those people.
As of right now, whether it's finalized or not, they don't have a deal. If it's not finalized, they don't have a deal. They can have all the talks they want,
right,
but they don't have a deal. Period.
No, I agree with you.
But I mean,
it is what it is until something actually happens. It is what it is.
Yes, and then Tony Khan's over here talking about me, the PR team at WWE is talking about my deals. I'm like, are they really? I mean, maybe under Redacted's regime, they might have pulled this shit. I don't know why they would even care about talking about what TV deal you have. How do they know what TV deal you have? That would be my other question, because where are they getting that information, Tony? Are they getting it from Warner Brothers Discovery? Are they talking directly to them and hearing when it's from them? Then yeah, there's something wrong there. There's something that don't make sense. If WWE's PR team, if they're finding out this information somehow through the sources, which might be the same sources that you're listening to, like, do you think, Tony, before you speak about where is this information coming from? Are the people that are telling you this really, you may believe them, but are they really believable? Or are they just trying to get your goat to get you worked up so you come out here and do the shit you do? Because all the time I hear, oh, somebody told me, and now, and then you get in a hissy fit, and you go on Twitter and run your mouth, and you make yourself look stupid. Do you not think some of these people are just getting your goat? I mean, do you not understand it that your buddies on Reddit may have told you all the big lies, like you're the greatest booker in the world, to hype you up just so they can laugh behind your scenes? Tony, I wish you would just, I don't know what to tell you. You're as old as we are. You're in your 40s and you keep making you look stupid. I don't get this. I mean, it does. Maybe they are, but I don't know how they're getting the information. It's like, where would they get the information at Warner Brothers Discovery? If they're getting it from Warner Brothers Discovery, then I would be really worried about your deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, because why are they talking to WWE about your deal? Again, yes, I get there's people and insiders. No clue. I know there's insiders that leak bullshit, but I mean, how much do we have to believe all these people? And why talk about it?
By the same token, what may fuel the paranoia is the fact that, what was it, last year, that WWE had talks with Warner Brothers Discovery because they have international partners.
Yeah.
Not the U.S. deal, nothing about that.
Right.
But because, was it TNT in Europe? One of their international partners.
Yeah. Get maybe a paranoia that something might be going on, but here's the other thing. Why give it credibility? Why put it out there, Tony? Why, if you know about it, why do you say it? Because you know what it is. You want to bitch about getting criticized, but you're the one putting all this information out there. Like, if WWE is doing this, it's like the fucking bully. If you don't let the bully get to you, then they have nothing to come at you with, and they're eventually going to get bored. So if WWE is this great big bully that's attacking you all the time, why do you keep putting shit out here like that? Oh, they're talking about me. You sound like the little bratty kid. They just won't get up. They're bullying me. It's like, okay, why do you keep talking about it? If they're doing it, then why are you giving them the publicity? I swear, Tony, I think the people you're talking to are telling you bullshit just to get your goat going, because everybody knows if they come at you and give you any little bit of information that's going to get you riled up, you're going to go off like a rocket. You're going to go off on Twitter. You're going to go off on a media call. You're going to make yourself national news. I mean, hell, you're the same guy that called WWE the Harvey Weinstein of wrestling, but still wants to work with them. Do you know how stupid that makes you look? Oh, yeah. Partnership with him, but you call him the Harvey Weinstein. I don't even know what to say. He's
calling him the Harvey Weinstein, and he's having a man that actually runs his own casting couch on television.
The Learning Tree. That's a whole new story. Chris Jericho, the Learning Tree, beat the Murder Grandpa. How's that feel to swallow that?
Speaking of getting on someone's goat.
It happened. How's that make you feel? Ringside News report. CM Punk addresses AJ Lee's potential in-ring return amidst prolonged absence. AJ Lee's successful joining WWE is legendary, playing a pivotal role in the kick-starting WWE's women's revolution. She stepped away from the ring in 2015 right after WrestleMania 31, and now CM Punk has addressed her possible in-ring return. Despite her departure, rumors have... Nice. I haven't even said anything. You're jumping the goat. Despite her departures, rumors of her return have swirled, especially after she shared old photos of her old ring gear. However, AJ Lee has clarified that she remains retired, much to the disappointment of fans. In November of last year, CM Punk mentioned AJ Lee in his WWE return promo, which led fans to speculate about a potential return for her. Despite these rumors, it was reported at the time that no discussion had taken place regarding her return. While speaking during a recent interview with Ringside Collectibles at the 2024 San Diego Comic-Con, Punk addressed the topic of his wife's possible WWE comeback. He noted that he isn't the right person to handle those discussions and emphasized that he is not pushing her to return. Punk acknowledged that while April AJ Lee is aware of her options and sees his own happiness with the current situation, any potential return would need to be discussed directly between her and WWE officials. He added that although he would personally enjoy appearing on TV with his wife again, he prefers to stay out of the negotiations to avoid complications. Punk went on to say, and I quote, "I'm the wrong guy to ask about those questions. I know there's a lot of that out there, but I'm certainly not pushing her to do anything. I think she knows that there's options. I think she sees how happy I am and how things are different. But if the right situation presents itself, it would have to be a discussion between her and certain people. I don't necessarily want to be in the middle of that just because it could get kind of weird. Selfishly, yes, I'd love to make out with my wife again on TV." Yes, we'd love that too. And of course, there's a lot of big names like a Roxanne Perez and a Cora Jade that would definitely like to see AJ Lee and tied up with AJ Lee in the ring. Is it going to happen? We don't know. AJ's pretty adamant about saying retired, but maybe the right situation, the right roles will come out. Who knows? Can we see AJ and CM Punk in the ring doing their own makeout session again. CM Punk also talks about creating his own faction again, how he'd be very excited to create his own faction, and the fact of the matter that it looks like CM Punk is in deep negotiations to renegotiate his contract. His contract right now is to wind up ending in 2026, but he wants to go ahead and extend that to a Bret Hart level 20-year, 30-year contract. CM Punk is pretty much proclaimed with the way WWE is now. If it weren't, it was basically the fact that now that Vince McMahon's out of WWE is what facilitated his return. If Vince wouldn't have been here if things would have been like this when he was here prior, he probably would have never left WWE. And now he wants to be a WWE lifer with big hopes of taking over NXT when his time in ring comes done, and Shawn Michaels wants to step away from that role. And no, he's not trying to take that role from Shawn Michaels. Anybody out there writing a narrative to try to create heat between CM Punk and Shawn Michaels is writing a narrative for their own glory and to get click views, because there's no heat. CM Punk is not trying to step on the shows of Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is very willing to work with CM Punk. And if we go back, Shawn Michaels really wasn't hyped to take the position at NXT. It just kind of happened with the way things went when Triple H had to step up into the major role, and Shawn Michaels has fallen in love with the role at NXT and is definitely working and helping coach CM Punk. So, yes, CM Punk for life in WWE. Your thoughts?
Let's kind of circle back
Yes.
to AJ Lee for a second. I wonder if part of her hesitation might be not wanting to take bumps, which to me, with everything else that she can do, with the fact that at least for a season, she was a producer and a commentator for Women of Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you're WWE, you back up the money truck and say, hey, we can use you as a manager. We can use you as a mouthpiece of some kind. I mean, I think that would work just as well, her being a character, still being able to contribute without necessarily having to take a bump. And you can always find storyline reasons for her to work with her husband. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
The power of the pen, come on.
Oh, yeah, but here's that, I'm all for it, too, because there is girls in that industry, and there is guys, too, that can use a mouthpiece. Some of them just do not need to be on a mic.
Well,
and talking-wise, that I think she'd work great for that.
Well, going back to Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, both in it because of AJ Lee and CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's two people they could combine together or work with in any way they want to. So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there. So,
on top of that, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade also have their own history. So to tie it all together would be awesome, in my opinion.
A huge,
Money.
big deal. There's a lot of money there.
Money. Yep.
Anyways, let's take a quick trip here down Tuesdays. Tuesdays on Patreon, you can watch New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound. So go over to Patreon. The link's in the description below. Just click on that. Go over there. Sign up for the free membership. Promise you it's going to be worth it. A lot of more content's coming out. Not only do you get the wonderful articles, but there are going to be some catch-up videos or videos that are going to talk about Ring of Honor, NWA, TNA, NXT. They may be combined. They may be their separate entities. It'll all come soon. But you do get every Tuesday on Patreon, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast. And you can watch it on Tuesdays. If you want to wait till Wednesdays, it'll be right here on the YouTube channel. But if you want to get it a day early and get the jump on the gun, you want to go sign up for the Patreon, because right now it's free. Free 99, free. Wow. Not a better price you can get than free. So go sign up for the Patreon. What are you waiting for? What is missing that doesn't have you sign up for the Patreon? I would go over and sign up for the Patreon right now. Get over there, sign up for Patreon. Lots of great articles to read over there, and we're going to start moving videos over there. And there's already Wrestling Collectibles was originally on there before it came up on here on the YouTube. So a lot of the videos are going to get early released on Patreon before they get on YouTube. So if you want the early jump, the early scoop, the early inside stories, you want to get over there and check that out. And I'm promising you, as that grows, more personal content will come over there. Now, this does include, you want to go sign up for the Patreon free, because on Patreon, on what may be Wednesday, we will update you once we know for sure and we can get the stamp of approval. But on Wednesday, on Patreon and Patreon only, this won't ever be on the YouTube, we're going to give you our predictions for SummerSlam. We're going to go over SummerSlam card. We're going to give you all the details. We're going to make our predictions. We're going to talk about what's going to go on at SummerSlam. But that will only be on Patreon. So you need to go sign up. It's absolutely free. Get the free membership, and then you'll get inside the door to our Patreon, where you're going to get a lot of great stuff. And you're going to get to see us talk about SummerSlam And I promise you, when we're on Patreon, we have a lot more freedom to say a lot more things that we want to talk about. So those things we hold back on, well, that's why you want to go watch Patreon. It's worth it. I promise you. Really worth it. But anyways, to the point, New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound, and we've got the man, Miguel Z. Go ahead and give us a little sample. Tell us what's going on in the world of New Japan. What are you going to tell the folks on Wednesday?
5 nights of G1 results, folks. 5 nights that I had to catch up on and get going. I'm going to talk about some of the winners, some of the losers, some of the upsets, the block standings as we have it right now. I mean, it's been insane. The guys that you thought were going to pull this off came off to a slow start. And then the biggest shocker for me is seeing, I'll go ahead and tear it off right now. IWGP World Heavyweight Champ Tetsuya Naito with 2 points in the standings of Block A. As champion, I've never seen it before, but I'm looking forward to seeing if he can pull this off or what they're doing with him. And your two main, the Block A's top leaders right now with 8 points, ZSJ, Zack Sabre Jr., 4-0.
Be careful how much of that, and be careful how much of that you give away. You're trying to give him a sample. You want him to wonder.
I'm just going to give 2 standings. I'm not going to give nothing else away. I got one more, and this has shocked me. The King of Darkness, Evil, on top of that list too. So catch it on Tuesday, Wednesday. You're going to get the whole breakdown and possibly just my head exploding at that point.
Tune into that. Patreon on Tuesday. YouTube on Wednesday. New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound Podcast with your man Miguel Z, going over all the details. T1 Climax going to be hot and ready. We can't wait to see how that all comes together. Who's going to be the winner of this year's G1 Climax? Could be a big deal. Could be a huge deal, depending on who actually comes out on top of that. Speaking on all of that, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to let you hear about our friends over at the Goldmine. Yes, I was just at the Goldmine this past Friday where I picked up some new figures, as you see behind me. Added some great pieces to my collection, especially over, where are they? They're right here. Got the Bray Wyatt Fiend Christmas and then the Alexa Bliss and the Black Trash. Got to add those to the collection. I got a China that's sitting up there. We're going to watch that. That's why you want to watch Wrestling Collectibles right here on the Value of Wrestling, because I'll go over those in more detail. If you didn't watch this past one, you're missing out on some great stuff. But watch for that. But we're going to take a quick break and transfer here, and then we'll be back with some more Roundup.
It's the Value Wrestling.
Right video. There we go. This is the Value Wrestling on the Big Tyme, and I'm here with some great news. Are you a Funko Pop collector? Are you searching for some hard-to-find Funko Pops? Are you just looking to complete a collection? Well, the Value Wrestling is teamed up with the Goldmine. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Goldmine, which can be found on Facebook, or by going to the description below and clicking the link, you can sign up to join the Goldmine. Who will help you find those hard-to-find, rare pops. They'll help you complete your collection. Just let them know when you're signing up what Funko Pops you're looking for, and that the Value Wrestling sent you. The Goldmine, the ones that are going to help you to find those rare-to-find pops and help you finish your collection. All can be done at the Goldmine. Sign up today and make sure you tell them the Value Wrestling sent you. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live with you. We thank you for being here. As we always do, go check out the Goldmine. If you're looking for Funko, I can talk. Anyways, if you're looking for Funko Pops, that's the best place to go find them. It'll ship all over the place. All you got to do is go to the description below, click the link, go over to the Facebook page, sign up, tell them the Value of Wrestling sent you, tell them what pops you're looking for. They're going to hook you up. Goldmine on Facebook. We love our friends over there. Mr. Clarke, it's your time to shine. It's time for the missing link of the greatest show on YouTube today. The weekly roundup brings you Mr. Clarke and the Clarke Report. What do you got for us this week, Mr. Clarke? What deep dive are you going to indulge us in?
Today's been not today, but this week has been a weird week in news. We've talked a lot about what's there, but the Hardys on potentially appearing in NXT through TNA. The Hardys are now working with TNA, and they recently addressed the potential of showing on NXT TV through the two companies' working relationship. Matt and Jeff spoke with Sportskeeda Wrestling Binge and spoke about the possibility of making an appearance on the Tuesday Night brand. And of course, I'm going to talk about it here. Matt on the possibility. In wrestling, never say never. And I will say that the NXT Tag Team titles are not on the list of titles that we've won so far, but we're interested in that. I think this crossover between NXT and TNA is great. It's exciting. It's unpredictable. And I think it's positive for the business and the industry. Jeff on the possibility. I'm a fan of first time evers, and us in NXT, and just the vision of that is very exciting to me. When you look back at the Hardys, especially their run in TNA, when they were on the expedition to win all the tag team titles that they could, when they went to Ring of Honor, when they went to these different indie companies, the fact that this is still a thing for them, and they're right, they haven't won the NXT tag titles. With everything they've done, how do you feel about that? The idea is like, it could give NXT a bit of a rub with their star power on top of adding another title to the list.
I think there's a great chance for that to be entertaining. The Hardy Boys would definitely deserve it. It could add to the accolades building, maybe to their Hall of Fame. I mean, if they came in, won those NXT titles, took them back to TNA for a little bit, maybe defended them on TNA, dropped them at some point. It'd be a short run, granted, but at least maybe then, maybe you do this over the fall. You let the Hardy Boys win the NXT titles in September. Maybe they lose them by December. And then we get Matt and Jeff somehow involved in the Royal Rumble, leading to them being back with the company briefly, for whatever time. At least maybe they get their Hall of Fame name induction. We're so used to Hall of Famers still wrestling. Why not have the Hardys come out, get their Hall of Fame, do a 1 year maybe run together, maybe not a whole year run. Maybe they do their separate things for a little bit. Maybe we get Broken Matt mixing up with the Wyatt Six. Maybe Jeff gets to have a little more fun on his own. Plenty of opportunity there. But yeah, I think if they could win the NXT titles, it'd be fun. I think it's the right time to do it with them over in TNA. I think it helps branch that door there. And then you bring them in and you put them in the Hall of Fame where they definitely deserve to be. I think it is the right time. They're not under contract with anybody. I would hope that Triple H and WWE, at least by, Royal Rumble season, are signing the Hardy Boys and putting them in the Hall of Fame.
I definitely don't hate that idea. Mr. Z?
No, not at all. That's not a bad idea. I mean, by all means, let them have the little run. Let these younger guys get the rub. Let NXT get that giant rub. And then, like Big Tyme was saying, let's head to Royal Rumble and get into WrestleMania season and give these guys their credit and their flowers.
I think they need to go into Hall of Fame now. I think it's the right time. I think the door is suited for this. They're not under contracts. I think it'd be the right time for WWE to pick them up, put them in the Hall of Fame, let them run as the Hardy Boys for a while, help rebuild this tag team division, headed by the Hardy Boys, not necessarily as champions, but if you got the Hardy Boys kind of the head that helps these with the New Day, DIY, the Creeds, Angelo, the Street Profits, and you bring all these tag teams and push them back together and start giving credibility to the tag team division that's muchly needed. They got pieces and they're kind of there, but it's like, yeah, we need to really see this tag team division come back to life. I want to feel like the tag team division feels like it was back. The tag team division in all professional wrestling really hasn't felt important since the 80s and early 90s. Even in the Attitude Era, the tag team division was there, but the titles didn't feel as important. And if WWE's got get the Hardy sign, and if they got the Motor City Machine Guns in there, I mean, you could have the best tag team division in professional wrestling with the names you have there. Because, I mean, we're talking Hardys, Motor City Machine Guns, New Day, the Creed Brothers, Street Profits, DIY, and then let's
make that mid-card mean something again.
Yeah, I think let's make the tag team division mean something. WWE being accused of targeting AEW's market with WrestleMania London discussion ahead of All In 2024. AEW has experienced significant developments as come from Ringside News in the last 5 years, including changes in its talent, signing, production values, and more. Even then, they are obviously not the global juggernaut that is WWE, but it appears WWE has now been accused of of AEW's market that WWE, but it appears WWE has now been accused of AEW's market ahead of all this. Somebody screwed up and wrote something wrong. Anyways, London Mayor, another Khan, Sadwick Khan, I don't know how to pronounce that first week, but anyways, Mayor Khan of London showed strong interest in hosting WrestleMania in the UK's capital. This led to tons of development in the past week as WWE is currently discussing having WrestleMania event take place in London. In fact, even Triple H revealed the reason why WWE is considering London as a host for future WrestleManias. While speaking to the recent edition of Busted Open Radio, AEW Thunder Rosa commented on WWE's recent discussions about potentially bringing WrestleMania to London. Thunder Rosa found the timing of WWE's announcement particularly notable as it comes just before AEW's All-In event, which will take place on August 25th. She noted that WWE's move seemed strategically timed and reflected a border business strategy to fortify the company's position and accused WWE of trying to expand into markets that AEW is already targeting. Hey, Mr. Clarke, I don't know if you're going to be happy about what I'm about to say about that one. Anyways, I think it's very interesting. This is Thunder Rosa speaking, and I quote, I think it's very interesting, the timing that this is happening. It's so interesting. It's a game on. Game is on, and they are doing everything business-wise to become a company that is bulletproof now, and they're targeting a market AEW is targeting. It's capitalism 101. John Cena also believes London earned the chance to host WrestleMania, and to add to that, Triple H and Khan, the London Mayor Khan, a very productive meeting towards that goal. Nevertheless, WWE will continue to expand into various markets no matter what, and it's unlikely to change anytime soon. What do you think of the claims Thunder Rosa made? Do you believe WWE might be deliberately targeting AEW's market? Okay. WWE is not AEW doesn't own a market. A market is a market. AEW went into London first. Good job. Smart move by Tony Khan and AEW to get into London, to get those fans over there and give them an event that they've been dying for. Has WWE missed that role? Yes. Was that under Redacted's watch? Yes. They didn't want to go over there. Triple H is much more open and knows that the global market's a better thing. So Thunder Rosa kind of crying, boo-hooing about, they're stepping on our toes as that comes off. They're going into the market that AEW is already... Hey, WWE saw the numbers that AEW pulled off. Why wouldn't you go in the market? This is business. It's whether you want to call it capitalism 101 or not. You see a company go into an area and do successful, and if you're doing the same thing that business is doing, are you not going to go into that market? Should Coke be pissed off at Pepsi for going in all the same markets they're going into? I mean, what do we have to complain about? It's a market. WWE sees the money there as much as AEW does. So WWE is giving it. And the fans have been dying for WrestleMania or a big event in London from WWE. And with the new regime that's running WWE, they're looking at the global aspects. I won't be surprised if we don't have a big event in Japan real soon. We've already seen events in Australia now. We've seen many, many events in the Middle East that have actually turned out better than I think a lot of people gave it credit for. I think there was a lot of down players. We know the Bash in Berlin is going to happen in Germany this year. We had the big event Backlash in France. We had the Puerto Rico Backlash last year. So we see WWE expanding in these markets because they know that to become a global company, you've got to be across the globe, and AEW is plugging in all these markets. So, we knew that WrestleMania happened in London or SummerSlam or some event on that level was bound to happen. It wasn't far away, and especially since they were recently in London, and John Cena was there, or in Paris, and they had John Cena there, and they were talking about WrestleMania in London. It was only a matter of time before we knew these talks were going to happen. They were already talking. So, yes, did WWE probably see the money that AEW made with All In last year at Wimbledon? Yeah. Is WWE probably going to go into Wimbledon and try to break the record that AEW supposedly kind of set, but they seem to back away? If anybody remembers, after AEW sold out Wimbledon last year, and they sold All In, it was the greatest attendance ever, the highest paid attendance, and then the numbers have gone back and forth, and all of a sudden we don't hear that from AEW anymore. If you don't think WWE is going to go into Wimbledon and try to blow that number out of the water with real numbers, because it does seem like WWE is getting away from boosting those numbers as much as they used to. They're getting more realistic. I'm telling you, WWE is going to play game, because what are you going to do? AEW, people are going to say, WWE may not see AEW as competition, but when AEW does something, they go, okay, they did that. I'm sorry. I think even if any one of us, if we saw another company that was in the same genre as us go hit big numbers somewhere, we'd go, okay, we're going to go in there and we're going to do it better. That's competition. That's capitalism. So what are we going to cry over?
You gotta
I got
understand.
two words for you.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
And considering it's DX, essentially, it's really funny to me. But those two words are global localization. Triple H has been working on this even in the previous regime.
Yeah.
On top of that, I don't care what Thunder Rosa's got to say, and I love Thunder Rosa as a performer,
Yes.
but don't act like WWE hasn't had their eyes there on London before. Wembley, SummerSlam, Bret Hart, British Bulldog, they've been there before AEW was a thought in anyone's mind.
Yes.
Now,
Possibly one of the
now they're
greatest
talking
matches
about bringing
ever.
WrestleMania to London. That's the only difference. The biggest show of shows.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, think about it.
WWE at times, capitalism on steroids? Sure. But again, that's kind of the point of business at this point. That is competition. There is nothing wrong with that. It makes no sense why she's boo-hooing like, oh, you can't go in the same markets as us. Well, if that were the case, the AEW should not be in that same market because TNA was there before they were.
And here's my take on it, and this is I'm gonna point this out because I've seen it. Anytime WrestleMania shows up in the town, it's a week-long extravaganza, and that town flourishes. Hotels, eateries, parking, everything flourishes when WrestleMania shows up. So why not go to London, go to Wembley, and boost the economy in that city and let them flourish?
And as far as timing,
I don't see nothing wrong with it.
As far as timing, it's the time. This is the time we're going to start talking about WrestleMania, and they're trying to get things set because it takes a lot of work to get a big event of that size overseas. And bottom line, are they trying to make a noise while they know AEW is about to come into market? Yes. That's business. Does Coke and Pepsi trade off? Baby. Oh, okay, Coke's buy two, get one free. Pepsi might come in and go, oh, buy two, we'll give you two free. This is business. This is capitalism. The people are going to, it's the way it's always worked. It's what makes this country great. It's what business do. This is how business gets successful. I mean, it's like McDonald's on one corner. It used to be Burger King on the other corner. Now it's not so much Burger King because, they're kind of dwindled. Now it's more like Chick-fil-A. But, or Dunkin's on, or Starbucks on one side and a Dutch Brothers on the other side, depending on what part of the country you live in. But anywho,
there you go. There you go.
WWE going into the market. It's a market. Anybody can go in that market. WWE do timing. Yeah. It's the right time because it's a hotbed for wrestling. All in is coming in. So why not get talks? And this may have been the time that the mayor of London, Mayor Khan, was available to have these talks with Triple H and the other Khan, Nick Khan. There we go. Too many Khans in wrestling right now. But I don't think we can be mad. I think Thunder Rosa's acting a little
weird. Well, let me ask you this: why is no one getting on the case? I'm forgetting his name. Joe Hendry's case about putting, his big picture in the same area, the same arena as Clash at the Castle.
Yeah.
It was a strategic move. It made sense. It didn't have any words. Well, but it got him over. He's doing what he had to do to get over. WWE is doing what they have to do to continually maintain the number one spot.
And then I guess we
keep their profits in. And there's nothing wrong with it.
We should get mad at Tony Khan for going into Texas and doing the multiple shows he's going to have in Texas and trying to do the Arlington Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, where he supposedly wants to do his show. But I think he knows he can't sell out that show. Hell, why did you sell out 82,000 last year at Wembley, but this year you're not even doing more than 40,000? What's that? That's the biggest statement. Last year you did 82. This year you're only preparing for like half. What does that say about AEW? That's a huge statement if you look at it. Last year you created these numbers and you sold it. And it's interesting how that narrative died all of a sudden. They went on that for almost like 6 months. 7 months, they carry that story. We sold the most ticket. You don't hear about it anymore. And now they're going into Wembley, and they're not even making the numbers that they did last year. Great.
Because you would think that would be a selling point for them.
I know.
But the fact, like you said, that they're not even...
How do you not go into the same market and want to do it bigger and better? That's my point. It's like, you did it last year. Why can't you do it again? Maybe that's because Bash Berlin's going to take in Germany the weekend after. I don't know. But who knows? Let's talk about a name.
Maybe it's because you don't know how to book.
Hi, babies. How you doing?
That could be it.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, my cat's right here. we've all had pets, and we're part of the IWC, and we're going to talk a lot of smack about everybody else in the IWC. And I know we talk about a certain gentleman up in New York, and I do have respect for him. And right now, I do want to. He may never watch this, hence may never get back to him, and I don't care. But as a man that has its own cats, and Mr. Z can agree, he has dogs. Mr. Clarke's had cats and pets before. So we know what it's like to lose a pet. When you really lose a pet, how hard that can be. And Mr. JD of New York lost his cat, or his cat finally passed away 12 or 14 years. And deepest condolences. I know that's hard because pets can be so much like family. You know, that it's a loss. It's a deep loss, and we send our thoughts and prayers and our condolences to him. Even though we may talk smack on him, we may go to war, butt heads with him. We may want to take his spot at times. But that's what this is all about, competition. And that's what we're here for. But when something like a loss of a pet or a family member or anything like that, we always want to stop and pay our respects and best wishes on that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's that sad. I mean, I've got. I mean, people probably see my old man on Twitter every now and again. He's an old guy. He ain't got much time left either. So my condolences to him. That's the hard one.
Anyways, Julia. Let's talk about Julia. Julia's surprise debut at NXT Stand and Deliver marked a significant milestone in her wrestling career. Although she was sidelined with a wrist injury afterwards, she recently made her in-ring return. As her journey with Marigold's Summer Destiny wraps up, anticipation builds for her next step in WWE. Julia's return to action at recent Marigold's Summer Destiny event, where she faced former WWE superstar Cherie in a losing effort, was her first match back. Following this, she continued competing under the Marigold banner, showcasing her resilience and skills. Reports suggest that Julia's time with Marigold is ending, paving the way for her to join NXT. The announcement is expected soon, with Julia herself teasing a significant reveal at Korakuen Hall.
Corgan Hall.
Corgan Hall. Okay, there you go. Wrestling, that all comes from Dave Meltzer. So, Julia, and of course, they recently signed Delta? Another big name.
That's
on
one of them. The other is Stephanie.
Valcour.
The Australian scene, as I understand it.
Yeah, Delta's, I forget her last name, but Delta out of the Australia scenes.
They just say it's just Delta.
Yeah, I read her name. She has a full name.
No.
I read it somewhere and then I forget. But she signed, and of course Stephanie Valcour created a whole bunch of ruckus and seemed to piss off everybody.
Disruptor.
Yes.
Delta Brady, Australia's own Delta Brady, set to make waves in WWE. But yeah, it'll be great to finally see Julia on the WWE scene, the women's division, and the rest. WWE is about to blow it out of the water. The only things I wish is that we could see maybe a Jamie Hayter, a Dr. Britt Baker in WWE. I don't know if I ever want to see Sasha Banks back in WWE again, because I'm sorry, baby.
I do, because she would be used better and she would have better promos.
I don't know. If she doesn't get out of the company she is and she's just done, I mean, like, she's just dying to me. It's just like, it's going to take so much to bring back credibility if she does. I think Julia Hart would be great. I want to see Sky Blue in WWE. Just she can't bring her boyfriend or her whatever they call Kyle Fletcher these days. Who self-proclaimed is bringing back the halter top, the half-cut T-shirt look for wrestling. Anyways, we won't get on Kyle Fletcher, but anyways, yes. Outside of, I mean, I love Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter to really be in WWE more than anybody, but a Julia Hart and a Sky Blue would be great. I mean, a Chris Statlander would probably be really good, and Will Nightingale, and I guess Deanna Praza would be a nice added piece under Rose in WWE. But WWE looking like they're about to set off the women's division in wrestling and have the best women's division in professional wrestling, regardless of what the DMD and the CEO will say.
Yeah, definitely. Can I get a Julia and Asuka match just one time before Asuka hangs it up?
That looks like it's more and more possible.
Hello, Kale.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining the show. So a lot of exciting stuff, and of course we know Charlotte Flair will be back soon. The women's division's ready to blow up in WWE and get real exciting. The women's Royal Rumble might be really interesting this year. Really could be.
Lot of powder cake potential.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have an awesome summer, and awesome the men's division, everything going on there. Of course, SummerSlam growing. Of course, the end of SmackDown. We got another. We ended with a vignette of the Bloodline again in the back room, and Solo Sikoa still doesn't give me a great promo, but he did hint majorly that I believe at SummerSlam we're going to get Roman Reigns' return, since he pretty much called out Roman Reigns in that promo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was a bad move.
Yeah, it was a little telling. It does look like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, The Rock, has finished up filming for Shadow.
The red one?
Yeah, whatever movie he was on, but it looks like he has finished up in time. So will we see The Rock? Will we see Roman? Where is Paul Heyman going to fall back into all the lines of this? Jimmy Uso is supposedly cleared and ready to come back for action, and
I read that
it's going to
too.
be interesting.
Yeah.
The separate Rikishi doesn't seem to be happy with WWE's booking of his other son, Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Rikishi making his voice and opinion heard about
That's
the
okay.
status of Jey Uso.
He's a dad. He sounds like
get
dad. It's okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
I guess we always expect better, more. It's a hard thing to say, but it's this week in wrestling. A lot of stuff going on, and of course now this week we're going to run into SummerSlam. So it's going to be very interesting to see what goes on. And I'm trying to. Okay. Anywho, lots of stuff going on. Lots of matches. We're going to cover SummerSlam. Again, SummerSlam prediction preview show will be on Wednesday evening. So make sure you're paying attention to the Patreon. It's going to be a Patreon exclusive. It'll be a break it down episode. Prediction for SummerSlam. So we're going to be breaking it down, and we're going to be live, uncut, and we're going to say whatever comes to mind. So that's why you want to go over to the Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon. It's free. Get the free membership. Free. $3.99. Free. What else do I got to do? Free is great, right? You get all the inside scoops of news, reports, everything that's going over there. It's a busy thing. There's new stuff coming up pretty much almost every day over there. It's also, we're going to be able to catch a New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound podcast on Tuesdays instead of having to wait till Wednesdays to get it a day earlier. All you got to do is sign up. It's free. You know you already have a Patreon. You just got to go over there. So we got that. We're going to do Wednesday night. We'll do our SummerSlam preview show unless Tony Khan books such a horrible AEW Dynamite that we're sitting in corners crying. I don't know how Mr. Z will get through, because Will Ospreay taking on the Murder Hawk Monster Lance Archer should be quite interesting. We'll see how much happens on AEW Dynamite.
I've already cried in the corner once today.
We'll see how much of AEW Dynamite will trigger Mr. Z. So that's yes. Dun, dun, dun. It's almost August, ladies and gentlemen. A few more days, and we'll be rocking it like it's August. It's going to be hot summer. We got SummerSlam in August. We got All In August, and we got Bash in Berlin in late August. Then we jump into September, and the books are going to be cooking because September is going to be busy. Hopefully this August, we will be joining Supreme Pro Wrestling at their show in late August. We're waiting to hear back from them. Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling's next event won't be until late October, so we got some time in between there. Lodi Comic Con. Lodi Comic Con. Go to LodiComicCon.com for all your information. Lodi Comic Con at the Lodi Grape Festival grounds, September 28th. It's a one-day event. Check it out. Go up there if you're in the local area. Not a lot of details yet. As those details come out, we will tell you. But we're telling you right now, we are going to be there. Me, Mr. Miguel Z are going to be there, giving out stickers, videotaping some stuff, hanging out with whoever is there. And, of course, we're going to be meeting our boy AJ Kirsch. Thank you, AJ. We are going to be doing that interview with AJ on the 28th. I will not promise you it'll be up on the 28th, so don't get it twisted. We're going to do the interview on the 28th, and it should be up on the air within a couple of days after that, because we're going to have to get it, we're going to have to edit it, we're going to have to make it look pretty, we're going to have to put it all together. It'll probably be on the Patreon first before it goes up on YouTube. But it'll be a fun time to watch that all go down. There'll be a lot of editing. We're going to get AJ Kirsch. It's set September 28th. We're going to have that big interview. We're going to sit down. We're going to have a lovely talk with him. We're going to get you, we're going to really introduce you to who AJ Kirsch is. And maybe we'll find a little more about the Broman, the Barossa of Joe Brody, which Miguel, I guess, Mr. Z has stirred the pot a little bit. Marty Richards just came out of the wood.
No, I did.
Yes,
No, I did not.
Yes, it was you. It was your suggestion. You heard that.
Oh, I know.
So don't act
Wait,
like
real
you're
quick.
innocent.
Since we're talking about Marty, did you see the fan of AEW? They had a "We Want Marty" shirt. So hey, Tony, they're calling for Marty Richards.
I don't know if it's for our
we need 'em
Marty,
there.
but yes, there was a "We Want Marty" shirt at AEW Dynamite 250. But yes, Marty Richards on Twitter has spoken or called out or made comments about Joe Brody. I haven't seen any retweets back from the Broman, but there's rumors and speculation working with different things that maybe somewhere down the line we will have a church service between Joe Brody and the almighty Marty Richards. This could be interesting. The only thing I know is Miguel Z will have to be right in the middle of that to referee that. He will have to be the Fox newscaster. It'll kind of be like the a debate between the presidents. He'll have to be the to make sure mics are cut off or timeouts, or it's going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. It could be definitely an interesting show. Hi, babies. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So all that's coming up, a lot of stuff. So Realm of Warriors Championship Wrestling in the October, Lodi Comic Con into September, a bunch of wrestling events in between. Supreme Pro Wrestling out of the Sacramento area. Last we heard this, they're going to have a big event at the Car Museum, the California Car Museum in Sacramento, California. That should be fun. We hope to be there. We're waiting to hear back from everybody with that information. Is there anything else I'm forgetting, Mr. Clarke? Is there anything else we need to throw out there? I guess there's a big special report on Wednesday also, I believe. If you're ready for Jane AI Bot to make her return, there's going to be a video on the YouTube on Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
There is one waiting, but she will have something out there. I don't know. She's thinking about retooling it before it actually goes live.
Yes.
So we'll see if it's the current one there or if it's. But there will be an episode from her.
Yes, the new.
Them we trust.
Yes, a brand new program on the channel that will hopefully become a weekly program and make a mainstay, whether it be on the YouTube or on Patreon or early release on Patreon and YouTube. Definitely want to join.
As I understand it, it's going to be on both.
Okay.
At the same time.
Oh, it's going to be okay.
Oh, yeah.
So it's all stuff that's working. A lot of stuff. You want to go to the Patreon. I promise you, we're going to put more stuff on the Patreon that you want to go get. Some of it's going to be totally exclusive. Some of it'll be early release. So you definitely want to sign up. But the Patreon's free right now. So why not do it now while it's free before it becomes a paid membership? Because it's going to happen sooner than later than sooner. It's all going to come down. And ladies and gentlemen, this week's going to be busy. Tomorrow we'll be back with your Monday Night Raw post-show review. We will break down everything that happens on Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw looking very, very hot. Very entertaining. What is going to go on with the Wyatt Sick? They're going to have something to say about what's going down. There's some big matches going on. Sheamus is going to take on Bronson Reed. How does Pete Dunne feel about all of that? Some other breaking news. I can't remember everything. My brain is blanking. Oh, we're going to have the confrontation. Seth Rollins is going to give his refereeing rules to both CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
That's right.
A big confrontation tomorrow night. Tuesday night, NXT is going to bring you a Joe Hendry concert. So don't be surprised if there's something either on Patreon or on the YouTube that talks about that and the big spectacular Joe Hendry. That's a big deal. Joe Hendry concert. When are we ever going to get a dual concert? Joe Hendry and The Rock. Now that would be an interesting dual partnership concert. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Wednesday we will have a lot of stuff coming out. Of course, that should be the new Jane AI Bot program. And of course, on Wednesday we are going to do Patreon exclusive your SummerSlam post predictions show. AEW Dynamite's going to happen on that night. We don't really review that because something comes up interesting. Who knows? Thursdays is kind of open. Fridays we'll be back with your SmackDown post show review. Saturday we will be doing your post show after SummerSlam. After SummerSlam's over, you want to be right here so we can break it all down for you. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And then next Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a big day in the Value of Wrestling history. The weekly roundup hits episode 52. That means 1 year, one solid year of being here each and every week. Yes, it's been at different times and on different dates, but it's finally episode 52. The weekly roundup podcast, episode 52, the 1 year mark. It'll be a big celebration. We've done 1 year. We're going to talk about a lot of things. and discuss where we come from, where we've been. Of course, we'll discuss everything that went down in the world of professional wrestling, and maybe one day on Patreon, the three of us will sit down and we'll watch one of our original weekly roundup or one of our original videos, and go over it and critique it and talk about it, make fun of it, have fun, because we can do that on Patreon without having to worry about censored. So you never know when that stuff's going to come up. There's a lot of things we're going to talk about, and a lot of other things that are in the works. Anyways, make sure you ring that bell for notification. Give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you are subscribed. Join the Value Wrestling family. We are marching to 1,000. Now, what happens at 1,000? Well, Mr. Clarke's going to give his best. Nana Monet, Alex Wright.
No one ever said anything about Monet.
Anyways, Mr. Clarke's going to give his. Anyways, Mr. Clarke's going to give his best. Nana Monet, Alex Wright, Disco Inferno. I don't know who else was a dancing machine. Maybe he'll give you a little hoe train in there. Anyways, he's going to give you a dance video at 1,000 right here on the weekly roundup. It'll be live. It'll be a live feed. No, I don't know. It'll be a live or recorded. We haven't decided that, but it is going to be the Mr. Paulus Clarke dance video at 1,000. And then Mr. Z is going to do the Shui live on air. And there was something else you promised, but I forgot what it is now. So you're lucky because you did open your mouth and add something else.
You were going to give something away. You never really said.
That was me. I was going to give one of the action figures that I have an extra of. We just hadn't clarified that because we weren't close. But Mr. Z said he was going to do something else at 1,000. I forget what it is.
No, just the
Shui. That's
Shui, but he said something somewhere else. He opened mouth and said something. But oh well, it's all good.
No, I've learned to keep my mouth shut.
No, because earlier, what did you say?
Head honcho of Tasty Toes.
Yeah, what did you say earlier that had you put in the corner? What were you trying to tell Dave Finlay to show up and do? You wanted AEW. Oh, you wanted David Finlay to show up on an AEW program. Yeah, that's where you belong. Why would you want him on AEW? Why would you even? Finlay needs to go where Brogan is and Dempsey is. You know.
Yes.
He needs to be.
That's where he needs to go.
E. Even the Safety Sisters needs to get out of AEW and get to the E, because he'd be a whole lot better there than where he is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, anything else we need to say before we wrap up this 2-hour
good night, folks?
Show? I didn't tell you to tell them good night. No.
That's like the perfect word right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
My night.
It's Sunday night, and tomorrow's Monday. We're gonna get rocking and rolling. And get it all done. We'll be here to cover it all.
It's real simple. Everyone, rest well. Get ready for Raw.
There you go.
Yeah, get ready, because Raw is going to be off the chain. It's going to be off the hook. So, until the next one, we will see you